Hey friends, I am so glad you're here today because today's video is a big one. I am going to take you down memory lane and we are doing a Christmas decorating marathon with over 2.5 hours of pure holiday inspiration. Now, I say we're taking a trip down memory lane because I've put together all of my 2024, which is last year's, decorating videos into a long, cozy video. So you can decorate right along with me and sit back and get all the ideas for your home. In this marathon, we are doing it all. You don't have to click around to any separate videos because today I am decorating my main tree, my kids' tree, and even the tree at my mom's house. I'll also be styling the living room mantle, kitchen cabinets and shelves, console tables, entryway, even my back patio. So basically, we're transforming the whole house into a Christmas wonderland. So clearly, if you can't already tell, Christmas is my favorite holiday, and I do want to walk you through how to decorate a designer-looking tree step by step. I'll share all of my tips for hanging heavy garland without damaging your mantle, and I'll show you some beautiful DIYs that will make your home feel festive, unique, and stand out from all of your neighbors. If you do want a closer look on any of these individual spaces or the full process, I do have some videos linked down below that you can check out from even previous years. Every year I create a completely different and unique style, so I promise you will never run out of ideas while watching. Also, it's never too early to start thinking about New Year, so I wanted to mention quickly that I've also added a link to my free goal getter guide down in the description box. It's perfect if you're ready to start setting some goals and intentions for 2026 year. But one more thing, since this is all of last year's decorating videos, then if you're not already, make sure you subscribe and turn on notifications so that you don't miss all of my Christmas videos coming out this November. So, all right, let's go ahead and jump in and start decorating because I can't wait to share all the ideas and inspiration with you. I hope you're excited for all the decorating we're about to do. In today's video, we are going to start decorating the mantle, which I kept pretty simple, but I'll give you some do's and don'ts when decorating your mantle. We also got the 12-foot Grand Duchess tree from Home Depot. I'll give you step-by-step instructions on how I decorated my 12-foot tree, and a few things I added to help it look a little bit more magical. And I will finish up the living room by adding a few simple touches. So let's go ahead and jump right in. So here is the living room that we are starting off with. And if you're new here, welcome. My name is Michelle. I am so glad to have you. We're going to start with the mantle. And one of the things that I use for the mantle are these command strips or command cords, or maybe they're even called command bundles. And I'm double layering garland, and those did not hold. So if you have garland that's a little bit lighter, then I would recommend it. I used it for my fall garland, but if you have heavy garland and you're going to be adding a lot to it, then my little trick here is actually I got this idea from a subscriber about 2 years ago to use chicken wire. So if you're up for it, we nailed in little hooks at the very back of the mantle. At our old house, we did it in the wall because our mantle, we weren't able to do that. But here we nailed them into our mantle, and then I used a zip tie to tie in that chicken wire. I'm going to cover the top and have it drape down just a little bit. That way I can easily either zip tie in, or if I have any picks, I can just stick them directly in without having to worry about anything falling. Also, another reason why I like this is we used to have the heavy stocking holders that would go, on top of the mantle. And I read, something about it being dangerous if you have small kids and then they kind of tug on the stocking, that those stocking holders can come down. So after, my kids got old enough to start pulling on them, I decided not to use those stocking holders anymore for the mantle. And then last year we just zip tied the stocking in, and it is not going anywhere. When I used those command bundles on stockings 2 years ago, after 3 days, they all started falling down. So I guess, sometimes they work, sometimes they don't. But what I'm going to do next is add this main piece it's the Norfolk garland, and I purchased this at a local store by me called Craftex. A lot of my decor is from Craftex, and it's Craftex. I'll link the website down below. They ship some stuff, but not everything. So I'm just going to link the website, and then you can kind of shop around. But mantles are one of my favorite things to decorate. Oh my gosh, you can get so creative with the asymmetric garland draping off of the side. You can have it drape down both sides, which is what I did do last year. The year before, I had it asymmetrically draped down. This year, I did not want to drape it down either of those ways. So we have a big display on the right, which I decorated in last week's video. So if you haven't seen that video, you can see exactly how I decorated that space. And then on the left is we have like the door entryway, and then I have that olive tree right there. So I didn't want to have it go asymmetrical because I feel like the way the living room was, it would have kind of thrown it off. So I got this cedar garland that if you hold it up, it drapes straight down. So I am doing a little bit of mixing and matching of garland, which is definitely a do for me. I like mixing and matching a bunch of different greenery to give it some different depth and, different color, just those different shades of color. Now, you don't necessarily have to mix and match the garland itself. You can always have one piece of garland and then mix and match different picks of greenery throughout. I am doing a very green foresty theme this year. All of my other years I have had everything flocked, which I love, but this year I took a completely different direction. So this gives off a bit of this weeping willow tree vibe, and then we'll add some details to make it festive. So because our mantle is right below the TV, that is a TV with the frame on it, I wanted to avoid a lot of decorations going up and a lot of like flashy lights. This is different from our old house if you have seen any of our decorating from previous years. If our mantle was not directly below the TV, then I would have probably added some lights to the garland before I hung it. But I'm actually gonna go a different direction here and not add lights at all. And I'm gonna have a focus on everything draping downwards, opposed to upwards, and also not have a bunch of big and bulky items next to the TV on top of the mantle. So the idea is to not overwhelm the space. And I don't know about y'all, but with Christmas decorating, I'm always in this struggle of thinking that it needs more and also thinking that it needs less, like at the same time. So that is where I was with this mantle. Now I have these gold picks and I started to attach them into the center of the mantle, and later on I take them out and decide to do something different with them. But what I did like was draping the bells. I have 3 bells draped down. These bells are from Craftex, but I bought very similar bells from Amazon, and I've used them throughout different areas of the house. I've seen a lot of bells this year, so I think bells are probably trending. But the next thing that I'm doing is adding a little bit of ribbon in and out, or weaving it in and out the top of the mantle. So I really like the way this turned out. I play around a lot with it, and then I decide to, before I actually hook it in, I change the direction of where I'm going. I have a lot of top heavy stuff and I keep going. I need it to drape down. I want to kind of draw the eye a little bit downward towards the fireplace. So I decide to take those picks and then hook them into the top of the mantle, or actually it's getting hooked all into the chicken wire, and then have it falling down along with those cedar leaves. So you can ask yourself the question, where do you want the focal point to be? And then try to complement that area. I want the focal point to be the actual draping of the cedar. So I'm going to try to complement the draping and the downwardness, opposed to adding a bunch to the top of the garland. So however your mantle is, or however your garland is, either way is going to look beautiful. It's really just personal preference of where do you want that focal point to be. The gold garland, that is from At Home. And I always used to say, I would come on here and do a lot of decorating. A lot of y'all found me throughout the years of my Christmas decorating, and I would always go, I'm not a professional decorator. And that was like a way to protect myself if I did something wrong, that like any professionals would be like, no, you're not supposed to do it that way. So, but then I would have subscribers saying, stop saying you're not good at this, or stop saying you're not a professional at this. And I stopped saying that. And my point in all that, and real quick, I didn't have any like bread ties, so I cut those pipe cleaners, and I'm going to start working on adding a bit of ribbon in the top area. But my point behind that, and always saying that, is so that you guys know that this is like you can do all of these things. It's attainable. You don't have to be a professional to like your space or make your space look pretty. But also, when you use your creativity and just like make a beautiful space that you like, then just own it. And stop pointing out and picking out all the nitpicky stuff or falling into that comparison trap. But the next do for your mantle is add ribbon. I love to double layer the ribbon and add a little bit of ribbon here and there to some of the decor that you already have. Especially if you have a bit of color in your ribbons that match your space. Gosh, it's just going to make it pop, those small details. And because this space is all about everything draping down, you better believe that the ribbon is going to also drape down longer than the bells itself. So I have some velvet burgundy ornaments here. Are those teardrop ornaments? I have no idea what that shape is. In my head, I think it's a teardrop, but I don't think that's a teardrop ornament. If you know what that is, let me know. But I have 2 of them. I bought them for the tree, and I'm pulling everything I bought for the tree and adding it to the mantle. I'm playing around with adding ornaments, and I'm in that position where I'm going, does it need more or does it need less? We'll just figure this out. But for the side of the TV, I mean, you can never go wrong with candles. If you don't know what to do, just add a candlestick and then boom, you're good to go. Add a little ribbon on it and then it's perfect. But since I do have that chicken wire, they don't like sit completely flat. So I had to like cut a hole and then stick it in between the chicken wire, if that makes sense, so that it will lay flat on the mantle. I played around with doing like 2 candles, 3 candles, and then I just thought it goes good in pairs. So let's circle back to the ribbon real quick. The burgundy ribbon I have is 2 inches thick and it is wired. So having it wired helps keep its shape, whereas if it was floppy like the ribbon I have on the bells, then it would be a lot harder to weave in and out of garland. So do get wired ribbon, or let's say I personally prefer wired ribbon for weaving in and out of garland. And then I personally like non-wired ribbon, or I just call it floppy ribbon, for like bells, or if you're like making bows that you want to drape down. So lastly, instead of adding a bunch of sparkly, twinkle, bright lights, which would be like right under the TV, right above the fireplace, I'm just going to add a few simple candles. Now, this like hanging candles on trees and stuff has been trending a lot this year. I've seen it all over Instagram with the burgundy. It's gorgeous. So instead of using these candles in the tree, like I've seen it a lot, I'm going to use it on the mantle. I got some fishing wire I'm just going to use to tie it around the candle. I've seen people add little tiny bows on the bottom of the candle, but I'm just going to use this. I've already dropped and broke them. The amount of candles I have dropped and just broke this year has been quite a bit. I know you guys are telling me just hot glue it together. I have to get the hot glue gun. I'll do it later. But I want to hang it and see what it actually looks like without just regular Christmas lights. And after hanging the first one, I'm going to kind of taper them. Everything gets a little bit, there's a little Christmas hook. That's what I use to hook it into either the chicken wire, or I'll just use a branch. And definitely a must do this year. I love the way it turned out, especially since there's so much light coming from the TV. There's going to be a lot of light coming from the fireplace when it's turned on. I didn't want like tons of light. It's right in the garland. So y'all, I think it turned out great. Definitely add the candles to your mantle this year. All right, so let's go ahead and finish this up. I'm so excited. This is my favorite mantle I have ever created. So let me know what y'all think. Unless you hate it, you don't have to let me know. But we're going to move on to the Christmas tree. Now, when we first moved into this house in June, that was for sure one of the things I was thinking about. Was I have this huge 12-foot flocked Christmas tree, and I was like, it's not going to fit in this house because our ceilings go, like if they go to a point, they can go up to 15 feet, but it's not 15 feet around all of the ceilings, if that makes sense. But I kind of did some measurements. I figured it out. If we put the tree in front of the sliding glass doors, then it should fit perfectly. And I was going to pull out my big old flocked 12-foot tree, fluff it out, not unfluff it. I'm sorry. Let's not get into that conversation. Fluff it out and then add all of my beautiful lights that I have. And then somebody posted on Instagram, Living with MB. She's my favorite decorator Instagrammer. She's so funny. She's great. She posted that the tree, this viral tree, came back in stock. And I was like, I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do it. Bam, I ordered it online. So the thing with this tree is that it sells out pretty fast. There's two, I guess you can say, like viral trees from Home Depot, and it is the Grand Duchess home decorators, which is what I have, and then there's also the Elegant home decorators. And the Elegant, though, does not come in 12 foot. So the Elegant does not change colors, but in my opinion, it does have like more light. So it just depends on your preference, on what you want. So anyway, I needed the 12-foot tree, and the thought of fluffing it out, saved me a lot of time, and adding more lights just made me go ahead and purchase it. So like the tips of it, I'm trying to show, are like a rubbery feel, and then once you get into the tree, it's more of that traditional I don't know what that's called, that kind of material. So it's almost like it has two different material, but also with the 12-foot tree, I feel like the lights don't go in deep as much. But anyway, if you know me, I have to touch every branch and fluff it all out. So even if you don't have to, I'm doing it anyway because I just like to make sure, fill in the holes. But y'all, this saved me hours. It saved me hours of fluffing and adding lights. So I do not regret getting this tree. Now, I do have a couple of issues with the tree as I'm decorating, but I'll get into that later. For now, I'm putting it up and making sure all the lights work. The very first year I was on YouTube, I put up my whole tree and I didn't decorate it yet. I put the whole tree up and bam, turned it on. And I'm like, what the heck? Only 2 lights worked. And I was like, are you kidding me? And I'm trying to video. I'm trying to like do it all perfect. And I'm like, this isn't going to work. And then that's when I went on this big hunt to find my flocked tree. And I will say, when I bought this tree, it canceled the order on me. And so I was like, oh no, here we go again. I'm just gonna, if it's not meant to be, it's not meant to be. But then I ended up going to Home Depot and I was like, why did y'all cancel the order on me last night? And they were like, I don't know, our system's been having issues, but it was in stock. So we ended up picking it up in person. And one of the things that I do, if you've seen any of my past videos, is I will decorate it as if it were 2 different trees. So I will put like 3 layers on the original stand, and I would get a second stand and do the top 2 layers on that stand. So that way I can do the topper, I can do anything I need to do and decorating wise, and then I'll put the topper on. Now with this tree, I could not do that. The way that it goes in, there's like little grooves. So it like goes in and you have to twist it and it hooks in. And my other topper, it didn't hold it. So anyway, I have to decorate on the ladder, which is whatever. We'll do it. The next thing I'm doing, so the first thing I do when I decorate a tree is add ribbon. And what I like to do is double layer the ribbon and then weave it in and out of the tree. Now, I did get this like flowery garland. So what I did first, before I started the ribbon, was add that garland in the front section and then drape the ribbon right underneath it, if that makes sense. Now, I will say I struggled a lot with this tree. I struggled decorating this tree, and I like to think I know what I'm doing, but I don't know. I just struggled. But hopefully at the end, you guys will think that it turned out great. But what I'm doing is pulling out, I'm decorating with 3 colors. My color scheme this year was burgundy, gold, and emerald green. So I'm pulling out all of the other ribbon I've had from previous years, a lot of the gold and the emerald green. And then I'm going to add in the new ribbon I got this year, which was all of the burgundy. Now I do cut the ribbon in sections and then layer them like I'm doing there. And then I weave it in and out of the tree. And I usually just use a tree branch to tie in the section. I pull the section out to give it a nice round loop. Like, don't just pull it straight down. You want that nice loop. And then once I get the right, like how long I want it, then I'll cut it. Because each ribbon you can do so many different things with. You can do double loops. You can do 1 loop. You can add a nice little tail at the end. But with this tree, I had a hard time like hooking it into this tree. Like, it wouldn't stay like my old tree. I really needed those bread ties to tie it in. So that was kind of one of the struggles I had with this tree, was just really getting it all hooked in. But what I'm going to do is just take a couple of pieces, double layer it, and then again, just weave it in and out of the tree. I like most of the ribbon to all go within the same direction. For example, you can do it like just vertically, but don't add ribbon like horizontally and then try and do vertically, because it won't flow nicely together. And another reason why I like to cut the ribbon is because it gives it more coverage, meaning you can kind of use a little bit less ribbon than if you were to just try to weave keep it all intact. But really, again, it's always just like your personal preference for it. Now I got fed up and I took the top of the tree off. I was like, there's no way I'm going to be able to weave this ribbon in and out of the very top of the tree. So I took it off. I'm just leaning it against the couch. I'm having my daughter help me hold it up. I'm going to decorate as much as I can on the top section, and then we're going to just add that top section back up on top of the tree. Another thing, since I've changed colors this year, is I thought I had a bunch of gold picks to add this beautiful picky tree topper, and I realized that I didn't have any. So my tree topper is going to be a little bit less this year, which it's okay. I got these ginormous ornaments from Craftex, and I'm going to pop in these ornaments in any sort of open spots or spots where I feel like there's a lot of gaps. I also have a couple of these branches. I used those on our mantle last year that I'm going to just add in to just have it like flow down a little more. So after the ribbon is usually when I start adding different picks throughout the tree. Like if you have berries or anything fun, I would do that. I didn't have any picks to add besides a couple of those branches. So next, I usually add specialty ornaments. Now, my specialty ornaments are going to be the burgundy, because those are where I need the color to really pop off. I usually add ball ornaments at the very end. And the reason being is because you want those specialty ornaments to really take up that prime real estate in your tree. And then, you just fill in the remaining with the ball ornaments. But I'm going to add some of these thick candles throughout the tree. Like I mentioned before, the stick candles that I put in the mantle are popular throughout the tree, but I want to do something a little bit different. So we'll see if these thicker candles will look good. I also ordered some extra gold ornaments from Amazon, and when they came in, they were a little bit too brassy for my tree. My tree gold color is a little bit more champagne color, so I ended up not using these, although they are really pretty. These ornaments I got at Craftex. These are like big jewels, and I'm going to also incorporate these throughout the tree. So let's throw these in and see what we come up with. Whenever I was doing the ribbon, something was bugging me, and it was because I did do this big strand draped in. So I decided to go in and cut it in little pieces so it looked a little bit more scattered than what it was before. So I'm going to finish it up with the icicle lights and then add the candles in the end. I wanted to give y'all a quick reminder that if you have been wanting to start a YouTube channel, my behind the camera YouTube power program coaching and course is open. I will be personally coaching you on how to grow a YouTube channel. There is more information in the description box below. I really encourage you to check it out. This program has changed my life. YouTube has changed my life. I would not be here in this house with all this stuff if it wasn't for YouTube, and that is why I am sharing everything I've learned and would love for you to be a part of the program if that interests you.
Merry Christmas, baby. Reindeer's coming out to play. Santa Claus is packing the presents, making sure you've been behaving okay. Merry Christmas, honey. Yeah. The snowman's dusting off his hat, putting on the show for everybody, to give them a smile that lasts another year. There's something that happens when sleigh bells are ringing, when December ends.
All right, here she is. I think she's a beauty. Now, I got this tree skirt from Hobby Lobby or this tree collar, and I know that it doesn't fit. I'm testing it out here, but I'm really putting it in the tree in our entryway, which that video is coming out next week. So make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss the entryway. It looks so good. But after I already filmed all of the really pretty night shots that I'm going to show in a minute, the tree collar came in. I ordered this one from Balsam Hill. It is really pretty. It was pricey. I would maybe recommend looking around on Amazon or something, but for now, I'm going to be using it for the long run, so I think it's really pretty. I did have to order the one that was 33 inches because there was one I liked, but I noticed it would only fit a 28-inch-ish tree, so make sure you look for measurements. But here are a few shots of the tree before we move on and finish the living room.
Hey there, buddy. It's just me again. Came into my mind last night, so I'm just checking in. It's been far too long now since I last saw you, my friend. So happy Christmas from me to you. Hey there, buddy. It's just me again. I wonder what you're doing now. And if you're listening, I just wish that...
Next, I'm going to add some burgundy pillowcases to the pillows that I already have. I find just switching out pillowcases is so much easier than having to store a bunch of different pillows. But I initially had it on, tried to put it on some of, I think that's a 20 by 20. I don't remember the size, but it ended up being too smushed. So I needed to get the right size pillowcase. But I got these at our house a couple months ago, and I wouldn't probably buy pillowcases from there, but they were on clearance for like $22. So I snagged them when they were on clearance. I know somebody had commented about that I have a lot of expensive furniture, and I like to say that I am a bougie buyer, especially with furniture, but I will tell you that I do stock prices. So I will, if there's something that I just can't stop thinking about, I will literally look at it like a few times a week, see when, like, I think I have some of these stores, their sales and deals like down to a T, and then when it goes on sale is typically when I snag it. But Rai, he did not want the white light, so I don't know how well the burgundy goes with all of the colors, but that's his favorite. But anyway, we will move on. I'm going to add just a little something to this coffee table because, you know, obviously I have a bunch of kids. I would just leave this coffee table plain and not put anything on it, but I thought that adding a few different candles would be super cute. I have a little bit of leftover ribbon, so I'm going to double layer the tails of the bows on the candles and see what it looks like. Like I say, if you don't know what to do in a space, just add candles. You can't go wrong with having a bunch of candles. I get a lot of my candlesticks from Home Goods, but these particular ones were from like this little boutique shop that I found. But all the rest of my candle holders are from Home Goods. I had some of these extra stems that I pulled out of one of the pots I had in the kitchen, and I also got that little maroon deer from Home Goods, and I ended up not liking the stems. Something was just off about them, so I ended up taking them out, and I am using an extra piece of garland that I had to wrap around, and I think it looks so much better. But I thought this was just a cute and simple setup with just some of the stuff I had already. But thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you got tons of good ideas that you can pull and incorporate in your own home. I do have a couple more Christmas videos coming out, so be sure to subscribe if you're not already, and I'll see y'all next week.
Jingle with me, baby. Jingle with me, baby.
The Christmas decorating continues, and in today's video, you are in for a treat. I'm going to be adding a few more touches in the kitchen, and if you happen to struggle with styling console tables, then I will share an easy DIY that will make a huge statement. I'll share how I styled mine and how you can get some ideas to style your own. And then lastly, we'll move on to the dining room table. Creating a beautiful tablescape has always been a bit challenging for me, especially with small kids. But I think we nailed it this time, and I'll show you how easy it was to make. But let's go ahead and get started. If you're new here, welcome. My name is Michelle. I'm sharing all of my best decor tips to help make your space unique and beautiful. So go ahead and subscribe if you're not already so you don't miss any of the upcoming videos. The first thing I'm gonna do is grab this little tree. It's from Target, and this Mackenzie Childs planter pot that I got in one of my kitchen updates video, and just add a little tree in there. I added a cute little snow globe over here in the corner. So last week I finished decorating the kitchen, and at the very end I said, I think I need to add some sort of wreath up here. If you haven't checked out that video, I will tag it up here above. And I was testing out with two different wreaths. The first wreath, it was probably hard to see, but it was actually a little bit red. It did pull burgundy a little bit, but I felt like up there it was too red. My main colors this year are burgundy, gold, and like an emerald green color. And what I've been doing a lot with a lot of my existing decor is just adding a burgundy colored bow to a lot of things, such as like this wreath that I'm doing, candle holders, anything that would make it pop a bit. I love the velvet ribbon, and this ribbon in particular I got off of Amazon. I've been using these command strips a lot recently, and they're really good for, I think, lighter items. I used them for our stockings last year, and after 3 days, our stockings started kind of falling down. So luckily this wreath is pretty light. So I'm going to use this to put the wreath on. I'm going to actually put the command strip behind the trim of that vent hood and then just have it hang down. I think it looks great, and it kind of just finalizes the whole top shelf in all of these cabinets of the kitchen. And hopefully it doesn't fall on me while I'm cooking. But the next thing I got, I have been wanting this from our house for like 3 years. I first saw this beautiful reindeer head from Rebecca Robison's channel. She's a professional interior designer, and she had the massive one. So ever since then, I've always had in the back of my head that I wanted this, and my mom actually got it for me and gifted me. This is the smaller reindeer head candle holder, and it is gorgeous. So I'm unboxing it to see what it looks like. I initially knew I wanted it, but I didn't know where I was going to put it. And it comes in 3 different pieces. So you can what is it? Like twist the antlers around in any direction. So, and to me, it's as dreamy as it looks online. I love that it's kind of like a brass color, but it's not super gold. So you can mix and match like whatever your color scheme is. So I end up adding it to my main console table in the living room. I didn't exactly know how I was going to style it, but she is a beautiful, beautiful deer. So let's move on and style this console table. Now I have these string, they're called cascading lights, and I've used them on my Christmas tree, and they give you that beautiful twinkling effect. Like for example, if you don't have one of those viral Home Depot trees, you can add these to your tree and it will give it a beautiful twinkle effect. Now last year, the thing is that this wire is so thin and it comes in all of these pieces and cascades down, and I was like, there's no way I'm going to be able to untie and undo this knot. It's terrible, but I need some lights for my wreath. So I was like, let me see if I can just cut the knot out. It'll make the strands a lot smaller. I have no idea at this point if it's going to work, but what do I have to lose? So after I cut it, I have a couple of long strands, a couple of short strands, and the knot is gone. This will be easier to manage. And I'm like, this is going to work perfectly on my wreath, if in fact the lights still work after I plug them in. So lucky for me, they're working, but they're like kind of flashing in and out. And I was like, well, I'm just going to go ahead and wrap this Norfolk wreath that I purchased from a local store called Craftex. A lot of my decor, my garland, is from this local store called Craftex. I'll link them down below. They ship some items, but not everything. So I'm going to take the chance, wrap these lights in, or wrap the lights in this wreath, and just hope that it doesn't go out. Now, when I fast forward this, I mean, these lights look super, super bright and strobe lighty, but you can see just how thin these little strands are. And the only bad thing is that you can't control the mode of the light. So this is like when you plug them in, this is the only mode that they will go in. But I did see that you can get some cascading lights on Amazon. I'll link that below, but the ones that I purchased, in particular, these are from Craftex. Now here you're probably wondering, what the heck am I doing? I want to hang this wreath on the really big mirror, but this is too low. So I'm going to put the deer head underneath the wreath, and if I didn't bend this, then basically it would just hang too low. So I'm just going to test this out, bend it, and see if it's noticeable. If it is too noticeable, then I'm just going to have to use a command strip or something and rehang it. But I think I'm able to get it hidden. And then what I'm going to do is tie a burgundy ribbon or a burgundy ribbon bow, and also a emerald green bow to just give it a little bit extra, or make it look a little extra. Now this ribbon is my ribbon from Amazon, and it is not wired, so it gives you kind of that floppy, flowy bow.
I can feel it in the air. It's getting colder, but yet so warm.
Christmas Eve, Christmas Eve. This year, I'ma give me something special. It doesn't cost a dime, but it's precious. Hopes that I won't forget it, then I won't forgive him, no. Been thinking about you and me, another kind of chemistry. I got nothing on my Christmas list but you, but you. I love the snow.
So this is the space that I'm going to be working with. This is my main console table mirror that is right in our living room. I had a couple of options here. I thought about doing like garland around the top of the mirror and have it kind of cascade down. But I ultimately decided that since my mantle right next to this is going to have all of the garland, then I'm just going to add a wreath on the top. And then I will add the garland on top of the console table. My next video will be the Christmas tree and the mantle. So make sure you're subscribed and turn on your bell notification. That one is going to be beautiful. And you'll see how everything I have all ties together. But I love the wreath on the top of the mirror, and no one will ever know that I bent the wreath hook, well, except for everyone. But let's go ahead and add the garland on the top of the table. I had all of this garland from last year. This is the Norfolk garland. Okay, so last year I kept saying Norfolk garland, and now I've been corrected many times. It's Norfolk. And now I can't even say it at all. So it's this trending garland. But I'm going to add a couple of books. These are just regular decorating books that I have. And I'm going to raise the deer head and put that right in the center. I have these gold candles from Hobby Lobby, and that's what I'm going to add to her antlers. I feel like she needs a name, so you guys help me pick out a name for her. And I can't do anything without breaking something, so I'm going to kind of hide that I dropped and just broke the candle that I had. My initial idea for this space was to really have the reindeer head as the main focal point and keep this area super simple. Like, I wasn't going to add anything around it except for some candles. I had been testing things here and there, and I did have these bells on a couple of my garlands from last year when we had stairs, and I hung them in front of the stairs. So I'm going to swap out the garland and use the ones with the bells. I think it just adds just something super simple. Also, whenever I did my living room makeover video, lots of comments that you did not like my little poof in my basket underneath this area. I tried to use what I had around the house, but I ordered some new poofs and they were back ordered until December, so just bear with me there. But do any of y'all like have that decorator stare where you're just staring at it going, there's something missing here and I just don't know what it was? So I decided, well, I actually got asked from a friend to help decorate at a church event where they are going to be doing some live broadcasting for some Christmas music, and they needed help doing some of the designing or some of the Christmas decor setup. So I've been working with a friend, helping her set up for that shoot, and she had this cool idea to have this frameless frame. And anyway, it gave me some inspiration and some ideas. So anyway, I'm trying to think of how to add more to this space without overdoing it. And I bought this blank frame and I thought that it needed something in it. So I'll show you the blank frame in a minute, but I had these bells already and I am hot gluing some burgundy ribbon around it. Now, I can't take off the burlap part of it. It is glued tight. It's not like I can just take it off and then tie the ribbon around it. So I'm using this to hot glue burgundy ribbon around it. And anyway, we are going to use this to create a beautiful bell frame. Now, I have not seen this idea or an image or a picture of it anywhere. I'm just hoping that it looks good. But let's go ahead and DIY this frame so you can get an idea of what I'm talking about.
Christmas, 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 Christmas Sleigh bells ringing, diamonds blinging, carols singing, favorite season. Sleigh bells ringing, diamonds blinging, carols singing, favorite season. They said, Saint Nick, what you got up in that bag, yeah. I got racks in my sack or in my bag, yeah. They said, Saint Nick, what you got up in that bag, yeah. I got racks in my sack or in my...
So the bells were from Craft Tex, and this is the blank frame. I think I said frameless frame earlier. I meant pictureless frame. So this gold frame is from Hobby Lobby. And now I'm just trying to see how I want the bells to fall. I didn't know if I wanted them to like cover the whole top or just have a cluster right there in the middle. Now they are already clustered, so I don't really want to just cut them all off, which that could also be an option. Or if you just bought a set of bells off of Amazon, you could kind of create a line of bells over the top, or just however you want to style it. So I'm thinking, how do I do this? How do I actually get it in? So I'm just gonna use a nail and nail it in, and I'm keep checking the front, like please don't crack in half, because who knows. So I just did it a little bit, and this is perfect to hang the set of bells. But honestly, this was such an easy DIY, and it's like so unique and creative. So y'all can do it and get creative with it, whether you're hanging ornaments in the middle or bells or, you know, whatever you want.
Don't believe no. Y'all need Jesus. Sleigh bells ringing, diamonds blinging, carols singing, favorite season. Sleigh bells ringing, diamonds blinging, carols singing, favorite season. They said, Saint Nick, what you got up in that bag, yeah.
So another idea is to layer pictures, which is exactly what I'm doing here. Now, I got that picture off of Etsy, and if you saw my last video, I hung it next to our cabinet. And this picture I got off of from Hobby Lobby. Anyway, the tree picture, I ended up ordering one more from... The shop is called the 19th Collective off of Etsy, and you can like customize the prints that you want. So I ordered another tree print that I will probably swap out here and then put that one back next to the cabinet, because the tree print is not a specific Christmas tree. It's more of like a wintry tree. So anyway, I can use it up. So anyway, what I'm doing here is styling and layering all of the frames together.
Doesn't matter if the snow is falling or the windows in the rain is pouring. It will always be Christmas in my heart. But this year I wanna hang out with my friends and family, making angels in the sand. You and me. Doesn't matter, it's Christmas in my heart. And I can promise Santa's coming to visit.
I'm loving the way it turned out, but let me know what y'all think. There was one small thing that I was like, this little frame needs a little branch or little garland piece up top. Those are actually stems. I use them in my big pot in the kitchen, but I just pulled one out, and I'm just going to set it right on top of the picture frame, and then, of the bell frame. And then I am going to add a little bow up top.
It will always be Christmas in my heart. But this year I wanna hang out with my friends and family, making angels in the sand. You and me. Doesn't matter, it's Christmas in my heart.
The next thing I'm going to do is add these cascading lights to the garland on the table. These are ones that are not all knotted up, because last year I individually wrapped them so that they would be easier to undo, but I'm just going to add these here.
Let's go outside. The snow is falling down and every child is having so much fun. The snowman is twice the size as me, with a smile as quirky as mine. We're holding hands to keep each other warm while we stand and watch a choir performing all the Christmas songs that we love. Yeah, all the Christmas songs that we love. And in a while we're gonna go inside and drink our chocolate by the fire.
So we do have a fireplace, but I'm actually going to add our stockings here. I need to get some better hooks, but for right now I'm gonna add the stockings and then push the drawer in to kind of hold them in. The stockings were from Pottery Barn last year, and last year I did a lot of red and green, and when I ordered them, I thought they were gonna be red, but they came in burgundy, so that is also what inspired my burgundy this year.
So beautiful, kissing on a mistletoe, baby, with you. Ooh. I'm making plans of what we're gonna do. I feel so blessed that I can be with you, 'cause God knows that I've been longing for you. I just wanna hold you close. You know the stars are shining just for you. Let's take a walk.
Here's a super sneak peek of what you'll see next week with the mantle, but let's move on to decorating the dining room table. Now, I just wanted to quickly mention that if you have always wanted to start a side gig, or there's something that you love doing or have been interested in starting a YouTube channel, I have a couple options to help you get started. I have a free YouTube power kit, which are the 7 things you need to successfully start a YouTube channel. I also have the behind the camera beginner course, meaning if you have no idea where to start, this would be a great place for you to start. And then I also have my signature course for those who have gotten started and just need a clear direction, which also comes with direct coaching from me. I'm going to link all 3 of those down below in my description box, and I would love to help you on your YouTube journey. Now, there's a little bit of a story around what I am unboxing here. I have never bought or even owned any type of fancy or festive dishware. If I've ever created a video, you'll know that I will borrow my mom's dishes to make a video. And in fact, if I'm being completely honest, we use paper plates most of the time. Less dishes, it's easier, whatever. But earlier this year, my grandfather passed away, and my grandmother had passed away a few years prior to that. It was a tradition of ours to always go to my grandparents' home to have Christmas, and it was a feast, let me tell you. They are from a town in Ohio called Steubenville, which is about 45 minutes outside of Pittsburgh. That is where my mom is from. And our tradition was to always get the family together. And on Christmas Eve, we would do what's called the Feast of the Seven Fish, which I think is more of like an Italian Catholic tradition up there in the Northeast. So they would go to what's called the Strip, get all of the seafood, which is like just a market basically. We'd get all the seafood and have this huge feast. And then on Christmas, we would always have Italian food and lasagna. So over the years, my mom had bought my grandparents all of these beautiful Christmas dishes. And whenever they passed and my mom was up there helping clear stuff out, she asked if I wanted all of the dishes. And I said yes, so she had shipped all of the Christmas dishes, which is what I'm going to be using here to decorate. So not only is this decoration, but it is actually super sentimental for me. If you have any super cool Christmas traditions, let me know them in the comments down below. But what I'm showing here is this big tray. I got this tray thing at Craftex. Now, I initially just wanted to do the whole table, but because I have kids, I need something that I can move. So like if I just decorate this tray, then I can just pick it up and move it if I need to. So my kids don't mess with it, or if we're like doing other things at the table, I can easily move it. Now I have this extra ribbon that I got again from Craftex. You'll see me decorate it in one of my, and probably the next video. And I had just enough left. I'm going to add this special I'm basically taping it to the tray just to give it some extra, I don't know, festivity. I don't know what to call it. You know how like some of the coolest things are always in the small details of things. So we'll see how it turns out. I had kind of an idea to use some stems and bells, and I had ornaments, and I just kept messing around with this and couldn't figure it out, but it turns out good. I'm going to use these stems as the base and kind of spread them around the tray. Now you can see a sneak peek of my tree. I had already decorated it. The collar is not that. I'm waiting for the collar to come in so that I can post the video, so just bear with me. But anyway, I pulled off these poinsettias I had already had in the tree, and I'm going to use these as a way to add some extra, I guess, beauty to this tablescape. In my head, I wanted to decorate it with some berries, but I could not find burgundy berries. There's red berries everywhere, but I had a little bit of trouble with burgundy. Some of you guys mentioned like painting things that I can't find the right color to, which is also a good idea. But I think that these ended up working out better than the berries. So this was actually super simple to make. I like the cluster of bells there. And in case you have an extra long table, which I do, this table is 108 inches long. It is from our house. So I've gotten questions on the hutch in the back. This table is from our house. The hutch in the back is from our house. And the chairs are from Pottery Barn. But since this is an extra long table, I am going to add candles on the end to make the table or centerpiece kind of feel a little elongated. And then of course I'm going to add little bows to the candles. So with this ribbon though, or with these bows that I'm making, I am making them extra long so that the ribbon kind of drapes down, if you can see what I mean. And also I don't have any special bow tying abilities or skills. I'm sure I could watch a video and learn all these tricks, but honestly, I just tie it like I'm tying a shoe and not overcomplicate it. Thinking, what am I missing? And it's these little lights. I got these from Hobby Lobby, and they look like the little cascading lights that I use on my tree every year, but I'm not using them on my tree this year because I got a different tree. So normally I would put the lights in right when I put in all the greenery, but I totally forgot about these. So I'm gonna wrap the lights around this area.
White outside and the night is cold. Everyone's lighting candles in their homes. Yes, it's Christmas.
So the main centerpiece of the table is done, and now I am going to start unboxing and setting out all of the dishes. Now I realize after putting this together that there's more things that I need, like matching silverware. I need some pretty glasses. I maybe need some napkins and some placemats, but for the purpose of this video, we are just going to go a bit bare. I will probably need to reset this for Christmas Day because I am hosting, and this is the first year that my mom and stepdad will be joining us, as they will not be out of town this year with extended family. The last couple of years we couldn't make it up because of the amount of kids and just all the chaos, and so this will be an exciting year.
This time of year is a time to cheer. Let our loved ones, our family and friends have a Christmas with so much love and with joy and laughter. Let us make.
So we are just about done. I'll also be sharing you some photos at night because it just looks so much more gorgeous then. But I hope you enjoyed today's video. I hope you got some good ideas. Make sure that you're subscribed so that you don't miss any of the videos that are to come in the next few weeks.
Lighting up this town, and as I walk outside, hear the Christmas choir sing Merry Christmas to you.
But I love you all. Merry Christmas and stay tuned. Let's kick off this Christmas season in one of my favorite places, which is the kitchen. I'll be styling our upper kitchen cabinets as well as the big shelf in our dining area. I'll also be unboxing the Home Depot viral tree and putting it in the kids' playroom as just a little fun tree for them to have. Because this is a new space that I'm decorating this year, I'll share everything that I picked up from Etsy, Hobby Lobby, and Home Goods. And I'll be sharing all of the ideas and styling tips that you can add in your home this holiday season too. So let's not waste any more time and go ahead and kick off phase one of the holiday season. To go ahead and kick things off, I'll show you some clips of the areas that we're going to be working with, kind of the before picture. First, starting in the kitchen area. We have a large kitchen with lots of glass cabinets there at the top, so I had to get creative on what to do there. We also just got this beautiful bookshelf type thing that I put in the dining and kitchen area, so I'm going to figure out how to style some of those shelves. And then here in the playroom, I thought it was appropriate to pick up the viral Christmas tree and decorate a fun kids tree with it. Now, if you're new here, then you joined my channel at the most beautiful time of year, and honestly, my absolute favorite time of year to create videos. My name is Michelle. I'm a mom of 3 kids, and we just moved into this home over the summer. So this is my first year decorating in this space. So make sure you subscribe so you can see all of the decorating that we come up with. Now, you might have just seen me unbox a big pot or planter from Amazon. I will get to that in a second, but these trees are the 7-foot pencil trees. They are from Michaels. This is the 4th year that I'm using it. And if you remember or have seen any of my videos from last year, you may remember that everything I have is flocked. Well, this year, these are the only flocked trees that I'm going to be using. I think that they're cute and they're not over the top flocked. They don't make a mess like all of my other stuff. And so my idea here, which I'd seen like several Instagram type videos, was to use the planter pot as a tree skirt or like a tree, I don't know, it makes it look like it's a plant instead of a tree, or like a plant for a tree, whatever. So I already had one of those concrete planters from Amazon. And since I had 2 trees, I decided that I was just going to purchase another one and then use those for the base of the trees. I don't think I'm going to be decorating these trees. I am just going to keep these simple, or is simple even in my vocabulary? I don't know. So I originally, for this video, I'm going to put them kind of in the kitchen area. I'm thinking about moving them to the entryway. I don't know yet, but for now, I'm going to see if I can even put these trees in these pots. So as I get to this point in the process, I am questioning everything. And I know you can get like a large styrofoam type block, and then you can just stick those things into the styrofoam. I didn't have any styrofoam, so I was like, I'm going to make this work. Let me see if I can get this aligned, and then later on, if I go pick up styrofoam, then I can use that idea. So I have one pencil tree up. I think it looks so cute. I'm going to head over to the kitchen and grab my other pot. I have one of my easy plants in here, but my kids, or I will say my 2-year-old Rye, he will get his hands, stick it all into the dirt and just dump dirt into that pot. I needed to get some like moss greenery to put around that. But anyway, besides the point, I cleaned out that pot, and now I'm going to set up the second tree here. This is kind of the way that I did it. For some reason, it is working. If you touch it though, it'll tilt over, but for now I kind of have it just set up in there, and we'll see how long it lasts.
I can feel it in the air. It's getting colder, but yet so warm. Before we know it, it's Christmas Eve, Christmas Eve. This year I'm looking for something special. It doesn't cost a dime, but it's precious. Hopes that I won't forget it, then I won't forgive him, no. Been thinking about you and me, another kind of chemistry. I got nothing on my Christmas list but you, but you. I love the snow and I love the scarves, the candles lighting the decor malls, but something's missing. I wonder what.
So once I have it all fluffed out, I'll set it up. I think one year I must have said that I was unfluffing a tree. And then I was getting some comments, and I thought that people were telling me that it is supposed to be unfluff and not fluff. And then the next year I said, you fluff it out, you don't unfluff it. So I feel like we have come to the conclusion that if I'm like telling y'all something and it doesn't make sense, or I say a word that doesn't make sense or mispronounce it, like I said like North Fork garland and it's Norfolk and not North. I just hope by now y'all can just laugh about it and just know what I'm talking about without me pronouncing it. One of my biggest fears is to post a thumbnail and misspell words on it, because I am not a good speller. That was not my strong suit in school. It is still not. My head is usually spinning faster than my mouth or my hand when I'm writing or talking. So just hang in there with me, guys. But I am intelligent on a lot of other things. I just have to clarify that. But let's go ahead and open up the boxes that we had from last year. I don't remember what I had from last year. I mean, I do remember a couple of stuff. Now we still have a storage unit full of mainly Christmas decorations. We started like slowly emptying everything out, and everything that was in our attics, we have not yet fully moved over to this house. One, because we have to plywood the whole attic. Like we can't just put stuff in the attic without first building a floor for it. So Chris has been working on that, and then we've slowly been moving stuff, like attic stuff, into the house. So a lot of this stuff we just grabbed from storage, and I am trying to see what I have and what I can use for shelving. So in our old house, we did not have any shelves. I didn't have any glass cabinets. I didn't have any bookshelves. So I didn't have a lot of like things to style and decorate with. besides like for a console table. So this is going to be new for me this year. My Christmas colors this year are going to be emerald green, burgundy, and gold. Last year I did emerald green and red, and oh, poor Joseph, he has seen better days. I have already glued his head on twice, and I do have a new nativity set, so I might have to just retire him. But I don't have a lot of burgundy, so I am going to pull out everything I have. I have a lot of silver. For years, I've done silver and gold and white, but this year I'm not doing silver really at all, and I have a lot of silver because I've done silver for a lot of years. In fact, I've done glam trees for a lot of years. I feel like the trend this year, or what I hear from an interior designer, told me that the trend this year is burgundy. And I didn't know that when I picked the colors. In fact, last year I ordered some stockings from Pottery Barn, and I thought they were going to come in red to match all of my decor I did last year, and they came in burgundy. And I was like, this doesn't match any of my tree, but I'll do burgundy next year. And then come to find out, I think burgundy is kind of what's trending this year. Now, obviously, most people, or what I assume, I'm going to make an assumption here, most people don't change their entire tree every year. Like, unless you just enjoy doing it, it's time consuming, it's expensive, So I didn't, obviously, until I started doing a lot of content on it. So I have changed it every single year just to kind of experiment with my creativity and then to give you guys more ideas in different styles. So next week is when I will be doing my big tree. Now, for decorating these kitchen shelves, at first, I'm just kind of playing with what I have, and then I'm going to end up having to go to the store and get some more color because I don't have any red decor, I don't have any burgundy decor, and I really want those colors to pop. So after I kind of play with this area for a bit is when I head to the store. Now, my idea here is to do a couple of groupings. So I'll have like one single thing, and then I'll have like a couple of trees to add a group. When I'm thinking of this area, I'm almost wanting to create a scene, meaning where I have those two Christmas trees, I want it to be like a forest. So I'll have my reindeer and Christmas tree in that area to create a forest. All of the silver I end up taking down, and I actually was on the hunt for some gold nutcrackers, but I did not find any anywhere. I feel like I had a successful trip to Home Goods. Eventually, I want to get like some really nice collective pieces up there, but I ran out of time and I needed to find something cute. So at Home Goods, they just have cute little knick-knacky stuff. I got, again, I was looking for stuff with color. So these cute red Santa boots, some gold reindeers, some burgundy-ish red. I mean, there's a lot of red. It was hard, to be honest, it was kind of hard to find burgundy. Let me know if you guys had any trouble finding your color. But this was just a couple of things I got. Again, I was aiming towards creating like that tree forest. So with different Christmas trees with that color pop. And then some Santas and some reindeers. These were the prettiest burgundy reindeers. There was only one big one left, and then there was like one baby one. I thought that I could use that to decorate in the shelves. But again, I was trying to find any burgundy that I could. Isn't that a cute little guy? Another idea. Oh, well, let me show you this Santa. It was totally my colors, the burgundy and the emerald green. I've been obsessed with emerald green lately. I've been obsessed with wearing green. I don't know. Something about it just makes me feel earthy. So anyway, I thought that was the cutest Santa. And then I got some of these really cute brass candles. I'm not going to put them in those shelves. I'm going to use them when I do the living room. But since they were included in this Home Goods haul, then I will show you. So now that I've gotten a few more trees and a few more things with color, then I can go in and finish styling the glass cabinet, shelves, whatever you call them. So I think what I wanted to do now, coming back to the scene, is create some sort of symmetry so that it's easy to style, but then also create some differences. So for example, the first two cabinets, I'm going to put my Santas in, and this Santa did not fit. That was my biggest fear, was that it wasn't gonna fit. So we're just gonna like put them in there and see what we come up with. And the next set of cabinets, I'll do just a Christmas tree forest. I think that I ended up taking the reindeer out and putting them in their own separate cabinet. And then I do have the three wise men that fit nicely in here. So I'll kind of put those closer to the end, and then we'll just get creative and see what it looks like. Now we have the kitchen upper cabinets completed. I think I'm going to go with this look, using the Santas in the innermost cabinets, and then my tree forest in the next cabinets, and then my reindeer, and just working with what's left over. But I did find it easier, instead of just throwing random stuff out there, was to create those groupings. Next, I'm going to add some of these Norfolk-like stems that I got from Amazon, just to create a simple centerpiece for the kitchen island. I have two different stem types here. The Norfolk, whatever ones, are from Amazon. I got those last year, and then I have a couple other pine cone ones that I used in my garland last year. So I'm going to throw everything in this pot, and I may start pulling from it as I start decorating other areas of the house. Now, I did find this burgundy ribbon on Amazon, and I want to say that I really like the color and the quality. It is not wired, so you can create some of those floppy bows with it. Now, if you are working on a budget, one of the best ways to incorporate like your festive colors is to literally add ribbon around your pots. You can add it in the back there. I have a little cutting board, if you can see that. I end up later on, not in this video, adding some ribbon to kind of the top of that cutting board. You can add little pieces of ribbon to candles that you have, and really work it into any decor that you already have. So that's what I'm doing here by creating a bow around this pot. And this color is harder to see against the black pot, but I promise in person it looks really, really pretty. I do like the floppy look of bows. I do have wired ribbon that I'm going to be using for the tree, but you can see I've just wrapped it around, and it gives it that cool little festive effect. But next up, I'm going to be styling this bookshelf that we recently got. I put it in this space to use as more like a china cabinet, or a drink or cocktail cabinet, and I decided that I wanted to use it for decorations instead. So I've emptied out all of the fall stuff, and I am now adding in some of the stuff that I got from Hobby Lobby. So I'll give you a quick little haul of some of the items I'm going to be using to style this shelf. That was everything I got from Hobby Lobby, and now I'm opening up some of the things I got from Etsy, which are some custom prints, and I love these. These are canvases, and you can pick the size that you want, and you can also pick the wood color stain around them. So I ended up just loving all of the prints that they had. So I'm going to include some of the prints in the bookshelf as well as on the side of the big bookshelf. And I'm just showing you guys the ones that I picked out. This one has like more of a pine frame to it, as well as the rest of the ones. And that was just a cute little train one. I have a train snow globe that I'm gonna kind of put next to it. My kids love the Polar Express, so it kind of reminded me of that. Now, Hobby Lobby does have like similar prints, I guess, if you wanted to get them. This one is my favorite. It is a vintage Santa, and I also got like a vintage Christmas tree. I'm obsessed with these. I actually ordered another print just after I received this shipment in. But I liked the fact that I could pick like very specific ones. I liked the vintage feel of these, and I liked that I could pick the size and the frame color around them. So the shop was called the 19th Collective, and I highly recommend them. So I'm going to be working with the pieces that I got as well as these custom, I wouldn't say custom because they're already picked out, but you just pick the size and the frame. So kind of custom, but let's get started here. Now I saw a styling guide or something, since I don't have a lot of shelves and I haven't really decorated shelves a lot. I played around with this, but I saw somewhere where they said to try to create like triangles of items. So my goal here is to create triangles of color, meaning I will have like a red Santa at the top, and then I'll kind of create a triangle around those red pieces, so that way you're not having too much of one color or too much of one items all next to each other. Now, these snow globes are some of my favorite. My mom and I went shopping last year at a Christmas market, and she bought those for me as a gift. So I have that one, and then I also have the train one I was telling you about. I think when styling a shelf, the easiest thing for me to do is to create scenes and groupings. So, for example, here's my little snow globe train. I am actually putting the trains together, so that creates one scene. I have a scene where I have a grouping of Christmas trees, and then over on the right you can see I have my Santa picture with my Santa boots, and just kind of creating groupings. And then I have underneath it my reindeer with some trees. So it was easier for me to kind of visualize it that way, like create a scene and then kind of mix it around a bit. I don't know if that made full sense, but that was the way that I visualized doing this. Now, anything extra I just played around a bit with the spaces. I also experimented with adding some garland, adding some twinkle lights, but overall, this is not going to be the statement piece of the house. We are actually, the console table that I have with my mirror, and the tree is going to be a huge statement. So that video is going to be going live next week. So make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss it. But I did have a string of battery operated fairy lights that instead of wrapping around like a tree or just kind of laying it around, I actually wrapped it around this Merry Christmas sign. So that way, along with those lighted lanterns, that sign would pop a little bit. If you have a specific way of styling your shelf, make sure you leave me the way that you do it in the comments, or if you have a specific collection of items that you style your shelves with, let me know in the comments.
What's your
I just wanted to also quickly mention that if you have ever been interested in starting a YouTube channel, my course and coaching is open for enrollment. So I have 2 offers that are ready to go, which is if you are just starting off and you're brand new, I have a BTC, which stands for Behind the Camera beginner course that will help you get started from scratch and post your first video. That is a mini course. And then I do have my coaching and full signature course program. More information about both of those are linked below. Now, what I am doing with the pictures are I'm going to hang each picture next to this shelf. I did order some cute picture lights off of Amazon that were not Prime, so they won't be here till next week, or I don't know exactly when, that I'll hang above those pictures. And then when Christmas is over, I'm going to replace those with some family pictures. Now, I am experimenting a little bit with these Christmas trees. I don't know how I feel about them. I don't know if I love them, but I liked having something on the top. So you guys leave me a comment down below. Should I take them down or should I keep them up? Here is the finalized space. I think that it looks good. Yes, I do have some horses in there with the reindeer because that is what I use year round. And I guess horses can be kind of festive, but whatever. The last space that we'll work on in today's video is the playroom. So each year the girls usually have their own Christmas tree in their room, and I also have a 7-foot flocked King of Christmas tree that used to go in my dining room, which whenever you would open the windows, you could see it from the front of the house. So the front window in the house. Now, I do not have any space in my office to put a Christmas tree. So my whole thought process was that I was going to use that flocked tree and put it in this space, and then the kids could decorate it. But I saw that the viral Home Depot tree, I am not one to... I will hop on trends, but not always, unless it's like a really, really good trend. So last year, I went and looked at that tree and it sold out. So I was just like, you know what, we're just going to decorate with what we have. And it takes me a long time to decorate trees because I add my individual lights in there. I spend a lot of time doing the fluffing, and supposedly this tree, you don't have to do any of that. It has all of the pretty lights. So I saw Katie Vining, who's here on YouTube, she posted that the tree came back in stock. So I was like, I'm just going to go and check it out and see if it's really in stock. I actually wanted the 12-foot tree. So I saw it was online. My local Home Depot had like 4 in stock. So I ordered it online and for next day delivery. That morning I woke up and I got an email that they canceled my order. And I was like, are you kidding me? Did this tree sell out and they like accidentally oversold them on at the store? So they went ahead and canceled and refunded me. So I was like, I'm just going to go to the Home Depot before I pick up the kids and see if it is in stock. And we went, Chris came with me, and the 12-foot tree was in stock, as well as the 7.5-foot tree and the other one, the new viral tree, which is called the Elegant one. This one's called the Grand Duchess. So I was like, gosh, this one is really nice, and I wouldn't have to put my own lights in there and spend so much time doing that. So I decided to get the 12-foot tree. And then I was like, man, I don't know if I want to do the phlox tree in here because it's going to make such a mess. So I went ahead and decided to get this 7.5-foot tree because it changes colors and the kids love the colors. Now, the elegant one, it's called Elegant something, and this one is called Grand Duchess. The Elegant one, I feel like does have more lights, and it has a mixture of the bright and like the yellow tone lights, which makes it very pretty, and it's a little bit slimmer. But I wanted one that changed colors, so I went with the Grand Duchess because of the reason that I could get the different color effect. And then for my 12-foot tree, they don't make the Elegant in 12 foot. So I also got the Grand Duchess for my 12-foot tree, and I'm behind on putting it up. I haven't put it up. I'm going to do that this weekend so that the video will be ready for y'all next week. But I am impressed, and I really like this tree. The tips of it have like that rubbery feel, and then in the center of it, it has more of like the wired where you can like tie in ribbon and stuff like that. Now I've seen that there are more like viral-ish trees from Lowe's, from all different places. This one was the least expensive for the quality. So I was looking at Balsam Hill. I was looking at King of Christmas. I was looking at the higher end stores to get a good tree, but the quality is there. So I was like, this is perfect and the least expensive. I can see why it sells out. So I am kind of making this tree a fun candy tree. I was going to, I got that big ball garland from our local store here in Houston, Craftex. If you've never heard of them and you're local, go and check them out. They have the best stuff. They have a really good quality stuff. That's where I get a lot of my tree decor. And I was going to do like pink garland, but I have a boy now. So I have 2 girls and a boy. So I wanted to make it a little bit more neutral. My problem is I don't buy enough of what I need. So I'm not going to decorate the back of the tree, even though you could probably see it from the outside if the shades were open. I'm just going to, like, this is just a fun tree. This is like the kids can do whatever they want with this tree, and I'm just going to add garland to it. So to get more use of the garland, I'm going to cut it and then create 3 different layers. Then we will go through some of the fun ornaments we already have. They already grabbed the gumdrop ornaments and hung them up. And then finish this fun space. If you are doing a fun tree theme this year, let me know in the comments what that theme is.
Life is a winding road, no telling where it goes. Driving through days and nights, won't stop for traffic lights. And I really wanna know if I'll ever figure out where the road goes. Even if I'm falling down, I will keep on searching for my highs. You can say I lost my mind, I will keep on holding my head high. Even if the sky is falling down. Jumping from cliffs so high, trusting our wings to fly. Sometimes we're crashing down, but we get up and start from the ground. And I really wanna know if I'll ever figure out where the road goes. Even if I'm falling down,
I love all of the different effects on this one, but this is how our fun little tree turned out. I will go ahead and give a quick little tour of what we've decorated so far. If you like this video, then be sure to give it a thumbs up. We have just barely started the decorating process. There's so much more to come. So click your bell notification so that you know when the next video gets released. But I will see you guys next week, and happy decorating.
Even if the sky is falling down, even if the sky is falling.
We are continuing our Christmas decorating series, and in today's video, we are decorating the entryway. We are also going to be adding some really cool lights on the patio. I have the last Christmas tree in my house that I'm doing some simple decor on, and then I'll also be adding a few pictures in the guest bathroom. But if you are watching to get some more Christmas decor inspiration, then I have that for you. Or if you're watching just to get into the Christmas spirit, then welcome. I'm glad to have you. If you're new here, then you joined right in the middle of my Christmas decorating series. I have lots of Christmas decorating videos that you can check out this season. And if you're still interested, then you can go ahead and subscribe because I have a couple more left to post. Also, right after Christmas, we are going to be ramping up my behind the camera YouTube program that teaches you everything you need to know about starting and monetizing your YouTube channel with direct coaching from me. There's more information about that in my description box below. Or if you're looking for just some information to get started, I also have a free YouTube Power Kit and also a behind the camera mini course available for you to check out. But the programs are available for you now to get started early if you are eager to get started. But we are out here on the patio. I'm cleaning up a bit because we are going to make the outside super. Kids have been completely obsessed with our new lights and all of the different lighting effects that they have. So because our living room looks into our back patio, I really wanted to make this space more vibrant, but I didn't want to add too much stuff. I actually had a very long piece of garland that I was thinking about adding to the rails, but after putting it up, I realized it wasn't long enough, so just wrapping the rails already makes a big statement. But I'll finish wrapping up here before moving on to the entryway. So the patio is done. I love the way it turned out, and let's move on to the entryway. Right now, I just have some random stuff over there, and if you follow me on Instagram, Michelle O'Malley 711, I posted this Christmas tree. It's another viral tree from Walmart. I purchased it back in, I want to say, the beginning of September. Somebody posted that it had gone back in stock, and the only one in stock was the 9-foot tree. I had originally planned to put it somewhere in the living room, and then when I had decorated the living room, I pulled it out and it was too much. So I'm trying to figure out how I can add it to the entryway where it won't really block the door and it still look okay, if that makes sense. So I tried it on both sides, and I realized over here it probably stuck out too much and that I like it better on the left side, close to the front door. This tree is from Walmart. It's the My Texas House Christmas tree. It's very petite. It's very cute. It is good quality, and I really like it overall. I didn't have to fluff anything out except for the top. You kind of have to pull those branches down a bit, but overall this is supposed to be the look of the tree, and it's just simple and really elegant in my opinion. It does come in different sizes. I think it comes in like smaller sizes, and then 7.5 and 9 foot from what I remember. And this is the 9-foot tree. So if you ever get your hands on it, I do recommend it. This tree collar I purchased from Hobby Lobby. I tried to put it on my big tree and it didn't work. And when I put it around this tree, it is still too small, but shh, don't tell anyone because I'm not changing it. I think it's cute. We'll just kind of hide it in the back. But next, I'm going to work on adding some of this. I swear if I have to say this word one more time, Norfolk garland above this mirror. I'm using the command cord strips here, and I don't know why I put them sideways thinking that I could just wrap them and they would stay, and that like if I did them upways then you would see them above the garland. So I did them sideways and that didn't work. Don't do that. After I added everything, the whole thing fell down. So just do them the right way. If you use these command cords, then yeah, just let me put it this way. I have a love-hate relationship with these cords. They work and they also don't work. So it just depends. But if you guys have like a really good idea for hanging garland and like what you use to hook everything together, then leave me a comment below and let me know. Anyways, I decided to add the garland around the mirror opposed to on the actual console table. I was either going to do one or the other, and I saw this picture from a Instagram account called House of Valentina, and she added like these ornaments on it. So that's kind of the vibe I was going for. But while decorating, I'm going a little bit out of order here. I'm like starting one thing, moving on to the next thing, and then like I'll go back and decorate the tree, and I'll go back and fix all of the garland around the tree. I'm just trying to get like some ideas and set up first before I start adding to it. So this nativity scene I got from Sam's last year. They had it on display. They are really pretty, and I thought it was a decent price. I think it was either $100 or right under $100 for all of the pieces. I don't know if I saw it there this year, but you can always double check. Anyway, I am going to I think I'm going to off-center this. So I'm kind of getting an idea of how I want to set this up. And I am going to, since I have the big tree on the left, I'm going to push everything over to the right and kind of make it asymmetrical. But as I'm kind of setting this up, I go a little bit out of order again. I feel like I'm so scatterbrained from decorating for Christmas. I've been decorating since before Halloween, and somebody asked me, would you decorate that early if you weren't on YouTube? And the answer is no, I would not decorate that early. But to get everything done that I needed to get done, I start really early. And not only that, I decorate multiple places. I decorate my parents' house. I got asked to decorate for a church like TV production set. And I've just had all these opportunities, so I've been decorating so much. So I'm a little bit scatterbrained on this. But the lights that I'm adding to the garland are a top favorite of y'all from the past years. They are called cluster lights, and they are the Home Decorators brand. I started adding these cluster lights to my tree in 2020 to give it that twinkle effect before all of the viral twinkle trees came out. But this is what I am going to add to the garland.
Hey, Santa.
And as I'm adding these to my tree, everything fell down and I have to redo all of these. What are those? Those command cord strips, because they're not hooking to my wall. So I'm just gonna like put it up there and then just hope that it stays and try not to touch it very much.
All of the presents are still by the tree. They don't mean a thing till it's here with me. If you know where it is, please give him a ride. And I will wait here by the candlelight
All right, so I did my manger scene a little bit on the right of the console table. So I'm gonna balance that with a picture on the left side. And I love kind of layering mirrors and pictures together. I think that it looks really pretty. And I'm just gonna add a little bell on the side of this. This picture is from Hobby Lobby. I pulled it off of, if you saw my console table decorating in my living room, I pulled it off of that console table because I originally bought it for this table, but I like it both places. But I think it looks really good here in next to the manger scene. So last year, whenever I was decorating the manger scene, which is the reason why we're doing this to begin with, I shared my testimony and how strong my faith has grown. So a lot of the decisions that I had for 2024 was to let go and trust my intuition, which I believe my intuition is really a way of God speaking to us. And one of the things that I've learned so much in this last year is that a lot of times we are looking outside of us to find the answers when most of the answers you have are within you. I have also learned a deep appreciation and the importance of gratitude in every situation. And I certainly don't take all of you guys for granted. I know how blessed I am. And that is not because of anything that I've done. It's because of Him working within me. So all of that to say, this entryway is very special and important to me and our family and this community.
Life is a winding road, no telling where it goes. Driving through days and nights, won't stop for traffic lights. And I really wanna know if I will ever figure out where the road goes. Even if I'm falling down, I will keep on searching for my highs.
I added a few ornaments from the top of the garland. Again, I got this idea from House of Valentina. And next I'm going to start working on the tree. These are 6-inch icicle lights that I got on Amazon. And again, this tree is going to be more simple. So I plan to just add a few of these ornaments scattered throughout the tree along with some gold tinsel. And we'll see how it turns out.
Trusting our wings to fly. Sometimes we're crashing down, but we get up and start from the ground. And I really wanna know if I will ever figure out where the road goes. Even if I'm falling down, I will keep on searching for my highs. You can say I lost my mind, I will keep on holding my head high. Even if the sky is falling down, even if the sky is falling down, yeah. The sky is falling down.
This is the tinsel that I ordered off of Amazon. I wanted a bit more of a champagne type gold tinsel, but this one ends up looking really good. I am pulling it apart and I'm like, this is going to make a huge mess. But anyway, I think once I started, I've never actually used it on a tree before. So I'm just taking like chunks and adding it to the tree. I kind of mess up, like you don't want to go too chunky. So I don't know, I'm just grabbing a handful and then I'm moving it around the tree.
Christmas is coming. Start sending your letters off to Santa. Christmas is coming. Fine. We are the branches. I can do nothing apart from you. Giver of life, the one to hold on to. I can do nothing apart from you. No, no. You're my lifeline. 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 You're showing forgiveness and loving your children. I can do nothing apart from you. No, no. Speaking your word and being able to listen. I can do nothing apart from you. No. You're my lifeline. You're my lifeline. You're my lifeline. You're my lifeline. You're my lifeline.
So let me know what you guys think about the entryway. I think at night it looks so magical. But if you saw my video from last week or the last couple of weeks, you saw that I found this company on Etsy called the 19th Collective, and I've been ordering a bunch of these picture frames. They're customizable. Like, you can pick the actual canvas picture and then you can pick the border around it and the size of it, and they just look so good. So I had ordered one more. This is more of just a winter theme, so I can use that picture as winter decor even after Christmas. But I had ordered these prints from the same company because I have a 4-pack of frames. I think these are 11 by 14 frames that I originally got for the game room, and then I decided not to use them in there. So I thought it would be a good idea to just order some prints, put those in these frames that I already had, and then decorate the bathroom with them. What I love about having prints is that as the seasons change, I can just swap out the pictures, and then when Christmas comes around, I can just move those pictures up front again. They had a bunch of different prints to choose from. So these are the 4 that I picked, but also they have so many different digital downloads on Etsy. You can get really creative and make it really cute. But I'm going to swap these out and then add them to the guest bathroom. I heard one time, a friend told me, a study shows that the most used room in your house is the guest bathroom. So always make sure your guest bathroom is decorated. Is that true? I have no idea, but now I have that in my head that it has to be cute and decorated. But thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed today's video. Be sure you're subscribed if you're not already, and I will have a brand new video coming out next week. But hope y'all have a great day. In today's video, we are heading over to my mom and stepdad's house to help them finish up their Christmas decor. I'll show you how I decorated their 9-foot traditional Christmas tree. We added some beautiful red decor this year. I'll also show you how I decorated the mantle. And then I'll finish up by setting the dining room table, and then I'll end by showing you a full house tour. But welcome back to everyone who has been following along with me this Christmas decorating season. I have completely finished decorating my house. That was a challenge. It took forever, but I'm glad it's over and now we can enjoy it. If you haven't watched those videos, then be sure to check them out. But as I get started setting up and fluffing out the tree, I have a good holiday gift idea for y'all below. So the first thing we are gonna do is get started on the tree. This is a traditional 9-foot pre-lit tree. So the first thing that I do is fluff it out in sections, making sure that everything is spread evenly and there is no holes or gaps in the tree. I used to just assume that everybody knew that, and one day I was picking up one of my kids from school, and one of the parents found me and was like, I was looking at a Christmas decorating video and you said in it that you need to like fluff out every single branch, and I didn't know that you were supposed to do that. And I'm like, really? I assumed that that was just kind of obvious, but I guess a lot of times you'll just set up the tree and then kind of go through the tree and fluff it out, opposed to like making sure that every individual branch is fluffed out. I mean, it does take a lot of time, but I promise it looks so much better and fuller whenever you have the whole tree set up. Now this year for me, I did get the new Home Decorators Home Depot viral tree where you don't have to fluff it out as much. I feel like I still had to go in there and fill in some gaps, but it was a lot easier. But for your beautiful traditional trees, you can go in there. I also add my own Christmas lights. If you don't have one of the newer twinkle trees, then these are my absolute favorite. You can see how they are, I call them like double-sided. They have lights on both sides, and these are called cluster lights. This is an example of what the tree looks like without the extra cluster lights, and I'll show you in like just a second what it looks like once I add all of the cluster lights. I've been adding these type of lights to my traditional Christmas tree for, I want to say like 4 to 5 years. This is the first year I didn't do it on my tree because it already has that twinkle effect. But these are really my go-to lights for everything. I did receive a comment that the ones that I linked below from last year, which are these exact ones, are not available on Amazon anymore, and I am so bummed. But this is what it looks like when you add the extra lights. It gives it that beautiful twinkle effect, and it looks so good. This brand of lights is called Designer's Excellence. That is my absolute favorite brand in these cluster lights. But if you do find cluster lights, make sure that it is two-sided. I'll show you an example when I do the mantle, how I do have some cluster lights, but they have a lot less lights to them. They're not two-sided or dual-sided. So this year for the tree, the theme is gold and red. I have tons of red decor, and usually my mom and stepdad will do a gold and silver tree. So this year she's like, we can change it up a bit and add some color. So I brought over all of my red decor because I used burgundy. I didn't use any of my red decor this year. So I brought everything red I have over, and we are going to make this tree. I started off adding a few picks to the topper, and then the second thing that I do is add ribbon. Ribbon is really what I use for the base of the tree. I cover a lot of the tree with ribbon so that when I come in and add different picks or ornaments, I don't need so many of those. But I'm going to use some of this extra ribbon I have to create some loops or bows. Basically, all I did was gather it and loop it, and then gather another piece and then loop it to just create this loopy bow. And then I'm going to stick that kind of at the very top of the tree and then have the ribbon cascade down a bit. I'm going to add a couple of picks, and I have some like poinsettia picks that I'm using to like basically anchor in the top of the tree. So you can add like these big, beautiful toppers with a bunch of picks. In my tree this year, I did not have a big topper. So I feel like you can go either way. I kind of ran out of stuff, to be honest with you. So I usually don't do like these extravagant toppers or anything like that, but you definitely can. And in this tree, I feel like the smaller the tree you have, or like the shorter, then, you know, it is good to add that cool topper. The bigger the tree, like on my 12-foot tree, you can see it, but it's not as big and bold. you know, as if the tree were a little bit shorter. So a lot of my ribbon is already pre-cut because I've used it in the past couple of years, and I love to layer ribbon. So 2 different colors. So having either a bold color and a, you know, more neutral color. I usually either layer it with a gold, a silver, or a white, and I just go in and out of the tree. You can definitely get pretty creative with your ribbon, but I use just the tree branches to tie it in. Now I am moving on to adding picks, but my biggest tip for adding ribbon is making sure that you're pulling the ribbon out to create a nice loop and not trying to like have it go straight down, if that makes any sense. So in this tree, depending on how long the ribbon was, I either created just 1 loop or I created a double loop, meaning it goes in and out of the tree to create like 2 separate loops. Also, I know that it can be a little intimidating to cut the ribbon, but cutting the ribbon helps give you more coverage, especially if you don't have that much ribbon to work with. But for tree ribbon, also I like using wired ribbon, and most of my ribbon is about 4 inches thick. I do have some ribbon that is like 2 inches thick, and I'll layer those together. So, but that's really, if I'm creating loops like I'm doing in this tree, that's kind of the size that I like. All right, so after I fluffed out the tree, added extra lights, added the ribbon, the next thing I'm doing is going through the tree and adding picks. Now, my mom personally likes having a lot of picks and not having a bunch of ornaments and having to deal with the hooks and all that. So a couple years ago, she's like, I'm doing away with ornaments and just adding picks. So we have a ton of picks to work with. And what I'm doing with the picks is I'm actually, especially like the long berry picks, is I'm pointing them downwards instead of having them all kind of poking upward. It makes it more of like a weeping tree and gives it a different effect. The next thing I'm doing is adding in like extra like poinsettias picks and filling in the gaps. And then the very last thing I do is add specialty ornaments. We do have 1 box of specialty ornaments to help fill in those last few gaps in the tree. So the way I add ornaments is first I add the specialty ornaments. So any cool, sentimental ornaments that have a design or maybe that are a little bit more expensive, I'll add those first to make sure that those get a prime spot on the tree. And then lastly, if you have any ball ornaments, then I fill the rest in with those. We will add the tree skirt, and then here is the tree, and that is kind of my whole process for decorating a Christmas tree. Next, we are going to move on and create a masterpiece for the mantle. I'm actually bringing some of the garland that I had. I've used this at my house the last 2 years, but this year I didn't use it. And basically how I created this garland was both pieces are from Hobby Lobby. One of them is the cedar garland that has like the gold tips on it. And then one is more of a frosted garland. And I just tied it together to create a double layer garland. Now, this is a separate set of cluster lights, and see how it only has one side of lights on it? That's what I was talking about earlier, where if you're adding lights to your tree, I mean, you can use these too. These are great, but I like having that double-sided so that you can really get that really good twinkle effect. But anyway, I am rewrapping this garland with these lights. They were all falling off. And then when I wrap them, it creates like, it almost looks like a stuffed sausage. So I have to go back in and start pulling out some of the branches so that it's looks more full. Next, I'm gonna put 3 command cords on the mantle so that I can wrap the garland around. Lucky for me, these things stuck pretty good.
Let's go outside, the snow is falling down and every child is having so much fun. The snowman is twice the size as me, with a smile as quirky as mine. We're holding hands to keep each other warm while we stand and watch a choir performing all the Christmas songs that we love. Yeah, all the Christmas songs that we love. And in a while we're gonna go inside and drink our chocolate by the fire. 'Cause all I want is to spend this day with you. Let me give you a Christmas, a moment we'll fill with love and joy. So beautiful, kissing on a mistletoe, baby, with you.
So once I have the base of the garland, then I am just adding to it. But I wanted to give y'all a quick reminder. If you are ready to kick off 2025 with a bang, if you've been wanting to start a hot side hustle, wanting to kind of take that next leap, get out of your comfort zone, and start a YouTube channel showing and expressing what you love to do, or if you already have a YouTube channel and want to take it to the next level, then I do have my behind the camera YouTube course available for you to sign up for. You see everything that goes on in front of the camera, but I will be teaching you everything that I know that goes on behind the camera. I also have a link to some free training for you to check out if you are curious and interested. When I say that YouTube has changed my life, I really mean that wholeheartedly. I took a leap of faith in 2020, faced my fears, posted my very first video. I was so scared, I was so embarrassed, but I just knew that something was calling me to do it. Fast forward 4 years later, and the opportunity to be able to have this community has been life-changing. Some of you may have noticed that we hit a huge milestone. We hit 100,000 subscribers, and I say we because this is a community that took all of us together to do. I don't know how to thank you enough for trusting, for being with me week by week, and just letting me share what I love to do. So thank you all from the bottom of my heart. You guys are just such amazing. So the red berries and the red feather picks are from the Nutcracker Market. If you are in the Houston area, you know that the Nutcracker Market is like the biggest Christmas event for shopping and whatnot. And my mom and I would go every single year, but the last 2 years I haven't been able to go. This year she got the opportunity to go and she picked out a few red Christmas picks. So that's what I'm adding to the mantle this year. So I do have like a random bow in the corner as I'm watching this. It's because I don't just like magically just throw stuff up there and it's perfect the first time. I do spend a lot of time moving and messing with things and putting things up, putting things down, moving them around before I'm like, okay, I think this might work. Next, I'm going to add some candles here in the back, but I'm going to elevate them a little bit over the garland by adding a book. I had a little trouble with the book because there is a plug behind there, and then also my command strip cord is right there. So I'm going to make it work somehow. But I don't know about y'all, but November has been so stressful, it seems like. Which for some people, this time of year is more stressful than it is exciting. And Christmas is my favorite holiday, but I have been really feeling the stress. I've kind of overloaded myself with work and commitments and everything that needs to be done, get done. And I don't know why I'm feeling the need to share this, but I am, is that for December, my goal is to have fun again. I was listening to something the other day about like the most excitement that you have in your life is when you're a child. And if you can somehow find that inner child excitement again, then you can learn to have fun again and not take everything so serious. So since we are starting off with a new month and I have gotten a lot of work out of the way, my goal is just to like find that inner child of what is fun, what's exciting, and to go after it. We tend to spend so much energy stressing and worrying, and it consumes us so that when something fun does happen, we don't have any energy to enjoy it, which I am so guilty of, especially this month. And I love Christmas, but it doesn't mean that I don't also get stressed out about it. So next time I'm feeling that way, I think the main thing is just to become aware of it. And instead of just worrying about things, when I'm in the moment, I'm just going to ask myself, what would make this fun? How can we make this fun? Because no sense in spending all this energy consuming us when it's not going to serve us. But I had to get that out because when I speak it, that means I have to do it. But here is the mantle. I think it turned out so good. The little pop of red is just what we needed this year. Leave me a comment below. Let me know what your Christmas colors were this year. So my mom already set up the centerpiece. She has done all of the decorating in her house already. I just came to kind of finish up the tree, the mantle, and set the table. So once I'm done setting the table, I will give you a full house tour of everything that they've done.
We stay up waiting for Santa tonight. He climbs down the chimney at the speed of light while we're dancing around the Christmas tree, hugging and kissing, just you and me. Carolers are singing outside our door, lovely songs we all heard before, as they walk from house to house to wish us all a Merry Christmas Day. Oh, a Merry Christmas Day. Oh, we're chasing snowflakes as they're falling down, and follow Rudolph all across the town. Later we meet under the mistletoe, while Santa's busy saying ho, ho, ho. We're feeling jolly, eating Christmas cake, and then we go skating on the frozen lake, saying hi to every friendly face, and later we warm up by the fireplace. Carolers are singing outside our door, lovely songs we all heard before, as they
All right, now stick around for the last few minutes and I will give you a whole house tour. But thank you guys so much for watching not only this video, but all of the Christmas decorating videos. I hope you all enjoy your week and I will see you in the next one.
No, I can't wait for the weekend. Waking up next to you. We'll be sharing our secrets, making dreams come true. Let's have a toast for the lovers. We'll tumble round in the snow. And my heart's going boom, boom, boom. You're so beautiful. What a night. Can you feel it too? Girl, I won't let you go. When the sky comes alive, let's have a jolly holiday. Holiday. Let's have a jolly holiday. Holiday. Yeah. Haven't seen you in so long, though we text every day, and still my feelings are so strong. How I miss your face. Let's have a toast for the lovers. We'll tumble round in the snow. And my heart's going boom, boom, boom. You're so beautiful. Can you feel it too? Girl, I won't let you go. When the sky comes alive, let's have a jolly holiday. Holiday, yeah. Let's have a jolly holiday. Holiday. Can't wait another year. Just talking on the phone, I'll make you feel at home. Oh, when I got you by my side. What a night. Oh, girl, I won't let you go. When the sky comes alive, let's have a jolly holiday. Holiday. Let's have a jolly holiday. Holiday. Let's have a jolly holiday. Jolly holiday. Let's have a jolly holiday. 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 Yeah. Just wanna have a holiday. Yeah. Let's have a jolly holiday.